What's up, deck brewers from all over the world? Are you looking for a draconic way to slay your opponent? Well, you have come to the right place because we are going to brew for you a nice control-y dragon deck with a lot of legendary dragons in it. Now, before we start the video, quick shout out to our partner Cardmarket. Do you want to try out Cardmarket for free? They are the biggest platform in Europe to get your Magic singles. Well, you can just look in the description beneath this video and claim your €5 free sign-up voucher. Now, if you also want a nice booster or a nice voucher, you can stay till the end of the video because I have some extra prizes for you all. Now, who is also still here just one more week because exams are starting is our student of Silverquill. Nora, are you ready for some dragons?
I have my dragon memes ready. Let's go.
So we are building this nice dragon deck on a budget. We try to always stay around $50 or 40 euros. And this time we're not going to include red. I already built a nice red dragon deck. You can see it here if you want to check it out later. But this time no red in the deck. We are going more to the control style of strategies. And this time we're going to build it in the colors blue, black and white. Now first, let's start with the basic lands. A proper flavorful deck needs to have matching basics, and for our basics we started by a trip to Tarkir. There I found these nice plains with dragons flying around. And also these islands with dragons and thunder and lightning. Now, the Tarkir swamps don't have dragons in it, so no Tarkir swamps. I did find a really cool swamp that you probably never seen before, and I want to take the opportunity to put this swamp and the art of it in the deck. It's a land from Arch Enemy by Susan Van Camp, and I really dig the gloomy vibe it has. With quite a bit of basics in our deck, we can add these 6 dual lands. Sunken Hollow and Prairie Stream are required, as we want 3 mana open on turn 3. For the white and black duels, I opted for 3 different ones. One Silverquill Campus, as the scry effect can be useful in the late game. Tainted Field works well with our 9 swamps. And Shine Shadow Snarl works well as we have 15 plains or swamps. I also added 1 Arcane Sanctum, a Gates of Istval, and 1 card that has 2 sides. And one of the sides is a black land called Hagra Bloodpit. And of course no dragon deck is complete without a Haven of the Spirit Dragon. Now this is a control deck, so we want to slow our opponent down first. We want to draw a bunch of cards, play some removal, and then at the end finish the opponent off with some big dragons. We play 8 of them and 6 are legendary. Yeah.
Are you serious?
The first dragon is this Shadrix Silverquill. For 5 mana you get a 2/5. But it has flying and double strike, and there's more. At the beginning of combat on your turn you may choose 2, and each mode must target a different player. Target player creates a 2/1 flying token. Target player draws a card and loses 1 life. Or target player puts a +1/+1 counter on each creature they control. Now the last ability you want to give to your opponent after you killed all his creatures. Or you can always give him an inkling as you draw more cards and slowly gain control of the game. So Shadrix is a cool Elder Dragon from Silverquill, and we play 3 Elder Dragons in the deck. So 2 more, and the next one is probably the most powerful one in a control deck. Dragonlord Ojutai, or our feathered dragon friend, is a 5/4 and it has hexproof when it's untapped. Now when this one deals combat damage to a player, you can look at the top 3 cards and put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom. Now you can give this one vigilance to make it even more stronger, and for that you can add, for example, a haunted cloak. Just a suggestion, I didn't put it in the deck, but I wanted to share it anyway.
Sorry, Bram, but this just won't work.
Why is that?
With all these big wings, the cloak just won't fit. So, better add this Ring of Fume. Style is important, remember?
Yeah, Nora is right. Style is important in our decks as well. Now let's continue with the grim version of this guy. The Necromaster Dragon really looks like him. And a 4/4 for 5 mana is okay, but if he sticks around, he will also create an army of zombies, which is nice. Pristine Skywise is another dragon from the Tarkir block. 6 power with flying is nice for 6 mana, and you can also give him protection against any color whenever you cast a non-creature spell. And we have over 20 of these spells in our deck. Now, when you play a 3-color deck, and especially when you try to do it on a budget, the mana fixing sometimes can be an issue. But the following dragon is quite easy to cast and has a unique ability. Keiga is a 5/5 flyer, and in case our opponent plays big indestructible creatures, you can always steal one of them by sacrificing your spirit dragon. The oldest dragon of the bunch is probably Dromar the Banisher. This one is especially good against green and red decks, as you can bounce all their creatures when Dromar connects. Another defensive control dragon is Silumgar the Drifting Dead. He combos well with Shadrix, as he will take care of the Inkling tokens Shadrix gives your opponent. So we already saw some really cool dragons, but flavor wise this one is really the reason why I wanted to brew this deck in these 3 colors. I'm talking about Chromium the Mutable, a uncounterable flashing 7/7 with flying is a superb finisher for a control deck, and it can protect itself by changing into a 1/1 human with hexproof that's unblockable. Design wise, this is exactly what an Elder Dragon should be. So these were the 8 dragons in the deck, and we need them to finish off our opponent, but before we do this, of course, we need to take control of the game. Cheap cantrips that draw you cards are a must-have in a control deck. So I added a Brainstorm and an Up. The nice thing about Behold the Multiverse is that you can already start playing it on turn 2 when you have it in your opening hand, which is useful as the deck doesn't have too many low mana cost cards. We are building a dragon control deck, so we must include this powerful draw spell called Dragonlord's Prerogative. Drawing 4 cards at instant speed is great, especially when it can't be countered. Dovin's Acuity is our only enchantment in the deck. For 3 mana, drawing 1 card and getting 2 life is not really amazeballs. However, this card can be played a few times in the deck, so it's worth the include if you ask me. 2 very flexible draw cards are these 2 charms. The first one can also give your big dragon lifelink to get out the danger zone, or get rid of an attacking or blocking creature. The second one can deal with enchantments or have your opponent discard 2 cards. Foul Tongue Invocation is another card that you should have in any draconic control deck that plays black. Target player sacrifices a creature, but even better, when you reveal or control a dragon, you gain 4 life, and that's quite a bit. So 2 copies of this great removal spell, which is a must include versus aggressive decks. Another nice removal spell is this Poison the Cup. I like that you can foretell it on turn 2 to get some extra scry effect later. More creature removal we have in Hagra's Mauling, which I'll also play as a land a lot of the times. And as we also play white, adding a Swords to Plowshares in the deck is never a bad thing. More spot removal with white we find in Despark and Mortify.
Although that spark gets an extra flavor point for me for its art.
Yes, really cool art from Mark Teeden. And the next card is also very dragon flavorful. Can you guess it?
Are you talking to me? Because my knowledge of Magic trivia is as great as this.
No, don't worry Nora, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to you, the viewer, who now has a little bit of time to push that little like button underneath the video. Yes, thank you. Now I'm not going to leave you in suspense anymore. Here is Dromar's Charm. Because of course we need a bit of counter magic in our control deck. And this card is really flexible as it also is life gain and removal. So let's add 2 copies. I also wanted to add one more counter spell which we can also foretell. It's called Saw It Coming and it also gives us something to do on our second turn with our mana. Now this wouldn't be a control deck without some big mass removal spells. Now if you have a little bit of extra budget laying around, you can include this card. Really cool, but not really within the budget at the moment, but I did include some nice budget removal staples. Ritual of Soot kills small aggressive creatures and leaves the dragons alone. The same thing with this Crippling Fear. I'm not really keen on having a lot of double white in the casting cost of our spells, but I did want to try out one copy of Kaya's Wrath as a life gain can be pretty useful against very aggressive decks. Yes, I'm talking to you, mono red goblin player. For 5 mana we also have of course Crux of Fate, a super staple in any dragon deck. And the art from the Mystical Archive is also very on flavor. So an extra style point from Nora for this one. The last mass removal spell is Merciless Eviction. This is our answer against graveyard decks, planeswalkers and artifacts. Now let's finish the deck with a few artifacts that help us fix our mana. The Talisman of Hierarchy is a great mana fixer and I also wanted to try out this Spell Satchel, as it ramps and it can be a card draw engine in the late game. Dragon's Hoard is maybe a better version of the Spell Satchel. But as you can see with all the gold it also costs a bit more. And Solamgar's Monument is also mana fixing and our 9th dragon in the deck. So this was our control dragon deck. Leave in the comments what you would like to add, what you would put to add in this deck if you would build it. And you gave me a lot of nice suggestions to build a green and blue Simic deck. And one of you also won a card market voucher. Marcus123, you took down the €10 card market voucher for leaving your idea in the comments. Check out the description below the video to find out how you can claim your voucher. So with all this information, I'll be starting to brew a nice Simic deck. I do need some very important thing from you, because we also need to put in some basic lands. And as you know, basic lands are important. So which basic lands of a forest and an island would you put in our Simic deck? Leave it in the comments below and maybe you are the next winner of a €10 card market voucher. And remember, don't forget to check out our matches. Don't forget to put something in the comments, to like the video, to subscribe. But most importantly, don't forget to always keep it casual.